Do you know what it's like to go out here and fix the lives of men while I come back and I have no clue on how to unravel the life that I'm in? I told her, I said, I have stood on stage and I've watched men's lives be transformed instantly.
You see it. I
I
see.
see it. And I come home, man, and I can't check out because I gotta check in.
Yes, sir. Oh, JP.
And coming home, I shouldn't have to check in coming home.
Ooh.
And she says, what do you?
Do you know Adam took a nap and woke up to a wife? The only context he had for her was rest. Yeah. All he knew was rest when he saw her. That's why you're still single. You're not trying to work. You want to rest.
Just Heal with Dr. J is going to be a space where we foster healing conversations, conversations that are life enriching, conversations that are going to provoke thought, that's going to provoke change, and also provide insight. And so that's what I'm excited about. Welcome back to another episode with Just Heal with Dr. J, and I am your host, Dr. J. This is a space for healing, thought-provoking conversations, life-transforming conversation. And I want to say this, don't just pop in and listen to these episodes. Join the healing community by subscribing to Just Heal with Dr. J. And you can listen to Just Heal with Dr. J on Black Effect Podcast and iHeart Podcast audibly. I'm excited about today's episode. We already been going back and forth. This is my brother from another mother who's been trying to get me married for the past several years. And so I'm going to cross my leg like him. This is none other than the incomparable, amazing good brother, one of the original good brothers that's been part of my circle and my journey. He's a relationship strategist, and many of you have seen his posts. A lot of his posts has gone viral. Just so many different things that he share, wisdom, just insight on men, how to love their wives, on men, how to love themselves. But man, listen, I don't want to take up any more time, but I want to welcome my brother David Burrus to the healing circle, man, to the healing community rather, man, because this community is growing fast, man. So, man, welcome, man.
Thank you, man.
You've already been starting, you know what I'm saying? We ain't going to go there now.
We're not. We see good. Oh, behave. I'm good.
Hey, man, so I'm here in LA, man. The weather is beautiful, man. You are here.
Yes, sir.
And I always start the episodes off not with how you doing, but man, I know you look good and you look well, but I want to ask you how you feeling.
I feel healed. That's how I feel. I feel healed. I feel healthy. I feel focused. I feel purpose, man.
Man,
Yeah, that's how I feel.
man. Now, heal, focus, and purpose. Why those three words?
You can't disconnect them. Healing points to purpose. Purpose requires focus, right? And so if I'm gonna be focused or purposeful, I've got to make sure that I'm healed enough. Here's why: because when I'm not healed, my healing distracts me from my purpose. So I've got to make sure that I'm focused on being healed so that I can fulfill purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, man. You listen, you already cooking, and you know how you and I
Yes,
we
sir.
get on the phone, man. We go back and forth, and I love that we're able to share this space, and hopefully the viewers, both men and women, and whoever watching, that they're able to grasp the wisdom and the insight, because many men, David, are struggling with two of the three. It's what is my purpose?
Yes, sir.
And then a lot of them are omitting healing.
Yes, sir.
And as you said, you can't find purpose until you are healed.
Yes, sir.
Until you begin the healing journey.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many men run from healing?
Yeah. I think a part of it is that when I am healing, I meet a version of myself that I'm afraid of. I've got to die to me to meet me. And a part of me, that was my experience, man. I had to die to me to meet me. And that takes so much work. And I think a lot of men aren't willing to meet themselves.
Yeah.
A part of meeting yourself means that I have to think thoughts that scare me, and I don't want to do that. So I would rather feel safe and comfortable thoughts as opposed to healing and becoming uncomfortable to get to know me.
Yeah, because seeing who you really are
Yeah.
requires you to take off that mask
Yes,
who you've been portraying to be.
Yes, sir.
And that's something that a lot of men
Yes, sir.
are not willing to do, because to take that mask off means that you have to face unbearable truths.
That's right.
And
And I built my world around my mask.
That
All you know is my mask.
exactly.
And so I've got to reintroduce you to me, and I don't want to do that either.
Ooh, man. Yeah.
I've had to do this. This is why I know what it is. I've lived my life as a million other people. I was thinking last night, if I could just speak freely just for a moment.
Yeah.
Last night, Jay, I was thinking about how I have deposited myself in so many people looking to get me back. And they couldn't give me, they couldn't give me back me. And so what happened was then it became a transactional relationship where they didn't have to hold up their end of the bargain, and I left more empty. So I had to really get away from people so I can get with me, so that I'm not giving all of me to people looking for me back.
Yeah. Because when we're looking for us, it actually robs our experience from having this encounter
Yes, sir.
of the authentic
Yes.
sort of connection
Yes, sir.
to why we even began pouring in the first place.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I love that you said you disconnected from people so you can get back to you. And that's really what healing is. It's disconnecting from the definitions, the belief system, disconnecting from sometimes the environments,
Yes, sir.
whether that's geographically, because I often have told clients that you may have to leave in order to really heal.
Yes, sir.
Because you can't heal in the same spaces or places that are continuously to break you.
Yes, sir.
And then you may have to leave some relationships.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, we're going to go here. You being a relationship strategist, how hard is it when you have to give that suggestion for someone to leave what they have been so connected to?
What I tell people, it becomes easier for me to tell them this when I say it this way. You can't grow into without growing out of, right? So if I'm growing into anything, I'm always growing out of something. So you got to ask yourself the question, is what I'm growing into more valuable to me than what I'm growing out of? And in most cases it is. And so it becomes easier for me to let that go. Now, I still have to grieve the loss of what I love, but I've got to gain more love for myself moving forward, and that makes it easier.
Man, I want to go back to what you said. Growing into it, you have to grow out of it.
Yes, sir.
That part is difficult because for most people, they don't want to leave
Yes, sir.
familiarity.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to grow out of what I've been doing, because to grow out of what I've been doing means I have to do something new. And new scares me, because new requires not only just a new practices, but new requires a new level of functioning.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that's where most couples, and where I'm going with this is just talking from a relationship, is when I'm seeing couples say that they grew apart. Is that what happened? Is that the sort of dynamic that is happening between them, is that one person is not willing to grow out of
Yeah.
themselves in order to grow into something greater?
Yeah. And so that's why you have to make sure that whoever you are, you're with someone who has a growth mindset. Because if we're not growing together, you're growing on me. Now you're a Cancer. And I don't want anything that's life is contingent.
Hold on, man.
I need to go outside.
No, it's a fact.
Listen, we gonna keep all this raw, these
It's a
raw
fact.
out of there. This man said, if you don't have a growth mindset,
You're growing on me.
you're growing on me,
You're a Cancer.
and you're a Cancer.
And your life is contingent on my health, which is dangerous.
And your life is contingent on my health, and that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all better stay connected to this healing community, because if that man ain't said a word, if you don't have, I'm going to say this again, if you don't have a growth mindset.
We're in trouble.
You're growing on me, and you are a cancer.
You can't grow with me if you don't have a growth mindset, right? And so now I have to now drag you everywhere I go. Not to make this a Bible study, but if you look at Genesis, man, and look at Adam and Eve, if you look at Genesis, I think it's chapter 2, verse 21, verse 22, the Bible says that God put Adam to sleep, cut him open, broke the rib. Something interesting happens after that. The Bible says in verse 22, and he closed at the place with flesh. Next thing we read is, then he made Eve. So he cut him open, broke the rib, closed the place with flesh, then he made Eve. What is God showing us? God refused to bring her until he healed him. God closed Adam first, then he formed Eve. Here's why. Had he not done that, she would have been a contaminant to him, a cancer to him. Had he not formed Eve, he would have had to carry her the rest of his life, right? So we all have a process we have to go through so that we're growing together and you're not becoming a cancer to me.
And as you're talking, man, if God doesn't close him, now he has an open womb.
He has an open womb, and now she's his nurse, not his helpmeet. And you don't want to invite anybody into your life who has to be your life coach, your nurse, your doctor. I need a partner.
I told y'all, relationship strategists. Listen, this
I've
brother.
been trying to get you married. You won't listen to me. I've been trying.
See, here's the problem.
Oh, you won't listen to me.
Man, I will listen to you.
No, you won't.
Don't.
No, you won't.
Because here's the thing, man. Because I'll say this, man. When we start healing as men, how we see potential candidates change.
Yes, sir.
And it's not that I see them as something is wrong, but I now see the deficiencies that is possibly a weight for me to carry.
Yes, sir.
And not to say, because one female a lady said to me, well, you're just looking for somebody to be perfect. I said, no. I'm not looking for perfection. But there is an element of healing that I am looking for, as what you're saying, because too many times, if you have a growth mindset, you have to be with somebody that has a growth mindset, not somebody who has a mindset of positive thinking.
What are you doing today, Jack? What is this about?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because we'll take
There's a difference.
we'll take positive thinking, right? Because I'm a positive thinker. That's not a growth mindset.
You could find positive thinking on Sesame Street.
Exactly.
Big Bird was a positive thinker, but would probably make a terrible spouse. You don't want to find your spouse because they're positive thinking.
Man.
I need you to be growing.
Man. Oh, man. This brother's cooking. He said Big Bird was a positive thinker.
Positive. Great mindset. Get you through. But you can't go to the future with me because I need more than positive thinking. Because the truth is that it won't always feel positive. And if all you have is positive thinking and no growth, we're going to be stuck.
Yeah.
I need you to be able to grow with me, which means there's got to be some adversity.
And with that adversity, you have to lean into it, man.
You have to.
So I want to, man, this is so good, man. This version of a man that you are,
Yes, sir.
and I'm 43, and to look at the years that it's taken me to even get to this place where I can honestly say now I'm experiencing joy.
Yes, sir.
Not happiness,
Yes, sir.
but joy.
Yes, sir.
I've shared the physical weight. I've shared the emotional weight. I have shared the trauma. And now in this place, because I can honestly say that in previous season that I dated good people and I wasn't necessarily bad, but there were parts of me that was not truly ready to really live where I can take up space.
Yes, sir.
Because when you are a man that's kind of like, well, I don't really want to, because that's the type of man that I was, especially after what I went through in 2018 which was a tumultuous relationship. I didn't even know what it was to be with a narcissistic or a narcissistic woman. I had no, until, and that thing, man, dang near took me out. But what I realized is that even as I began to heal, there was parts of me that was afraid. And I was afraid because it's not that I was afraid to love. I was just afraid to love the wrong person again. I was afraid to let my guard down with someone that would see those fragmented parts and then start poking at them.
Yep.
Because I know I'm a person, I can see your wounds and I'll look for bandages. I'll look for some gauze. I'll look for something to sort of protect them and cover them.
That's right.
And that's the thing that I'm hearing you say, because a growth mindset, you have the understanding that we're not going to always have these moments where I look at you and I said, man, I like you today.
Yeah.
There would be moments where I may not like you.
That's right.
But I made a commitment to continue to take this journey with you. And that was my fear, man. And after unpacking, sitting with my therapist again, even last year, and what I realized, and again, I'm being transparent, is I met great women, man, but oftentimes they were not emotionally available.
Wow.
And they get good.
Hear that in 2025 is crazy.
And they were all the things, but understanding what God has placed in me and what he's placed on me requires my partner to have a level of emotional capacity, understanding and intellect, and also awareness and discernment.
Yes, sir.
Because just because I can go out and talk to the masses and help them, there may be some things personally or some things in some moments where you have to discern. And that's not to say that I can't express, but some things may cause me to just be silent, and not because I don't have anything to say, but some things, man, would just knock the breath out of you, man.
Yes, sir. I found out, man, that sometimes God will send a man a wife because she has language for what he feels. Right?
And
I didn't, that's what I felt until here's the thing, Jay. I didn't know what I felt till my wife was complaining to me about me. She gave me language for how I feel too. She would say things like, I feel like that too. I feel that too. So sometimes as men, we need to really be honest and say, I don't have language, but she does. So let let her help me.
Man. And, you know, I love what you represent, brother, and what you stand for and what you model, because what you just said, I was talking to a colleague of mine and she says, Jay, what is it that you truly desire for a partner? And I said, just for her to have the language. It's for her to have the language that is unique to my experience, to my spirit, to my soul, to my mind, to my calling.
Yes, sir.
Because as a clinician, I never take my clinical or therapy hat. I don't go in there trying to therapize or clinicalize anybody. I go in open, and sometimes I've had to say to myself, that has often caused me to kind of be in situations I'm like, I probably shouldn't be here, because as a clinician and even as a relationship strategist, there's a level of grace that we extend just because we have seen it all and heard it all, and we know.
Yep.
So I'm often extending grace in spaces, and not to say that it's not warranted, but in this space, am I able to take up space where I can say, man, I need this, and I'm trying to see if you have the capacity to give it.
Yes, sir. Jay, there aren't a lot of men who are as honest as you are and honest as I am. And what I'm discovering, man, and this is not to take the conversation left, but
take it left, brother.
We're dealing with a generation of women who are not ready for the men who they told to go heal. Right? You told me to go heal. You told me to go get therapy. And now I'm back and you're not ready to be accountable. That's a problem. You told me to heal. You said, Negro, you need therapy. You need to go get a mentor. You need to be around some brothers. I did all of that. And now you're not able to hold yourself accountable. Now we have a problem, because now I've got to drag you when you once dragged me.
Where do we go from here, Dave?
Home. The hell out of here. That's where we go. That's where we go. We got to go home, because, and what I mean by that is, as men now, it's okay for us to say, you're not for me. There was a time when we couldn't say that because we were trying to appease you.
Yeah, a lot of.
Now, yeah, now you're not for me, sis. I've done the work. That's the other conversation, though.
Bro, you can keep digging in that, man, because you're bringing so much clarity, man, because I've heard women so much, he needs to do this, he needs to do that, and I'm seeing brothers now choosing themselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And brothers are like, and they're choosing themselves over the physicality. They're choosing themselves over a moment of pleasure. Brothers are choosing peace.
Yeah.
Brothers are like, man, I'll sit at home watching Netflix by myself because it brings a sense of peace. Because what I think is happening, men are learning that they are deserving of a quality of life that they never told that they could have, because we often heard that happy wife, happy life.
Yes, sir. That's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie. And so now I'm finding out I have a right to feel too. When you started feeling, Jay, that changed things. When I can feel, now I can connect to my environment. Now I don't like the way that makes me feel. And when I can express that, and now when you give me language for it, now I'm the jerk, right? Because now I have feelings. We were talking earlier about a woman having language for us. And what I would like the women who are watching this to understand is sometimes the language is silence, right? Sometimes the language is, you just let me hurt for a little bit. I don't want you to fix it. I don't want you to repair it. Just be there. I was watching Sinners the other day, man, and this, one of the scenes in this movie, not to give it away, but Smoke and Annie, his wife, were having a disagreement. And man, she just put his head on her breast, and that's all, and that shifted everything.
It did. It shifted everything.
We as men just need a nice, soft place to land without being judged, without being criticized. I just want to be able to put my head in your breast, not for anything sexual. Here's the thing, but because when I was an infant, started walking, my mother clapped for me, and then when I started riding my bike without any help, she clapped for me. Then I got my first touchdown, she clapped. I got my first job, she clapped. Bought my first house, she clapped. And then she turned me over to you, and you're silent. I'm used to the most important woman in my life celebrating me, and I don't know how to tell you that without you telling me I want to be coddled. I don't want to be coddled, I want to be nurtured. And there's something in me I can't get out until you put my head on your breast.
Brother, this is giving life, and from the sound of the room and the size, it's giving these brothers, other brothers, life.
Yeah, man.
Because this is the expansive dialogue that is needed to also provide understanding to what we think.
Yes, sir.
And what we're not able to articulate. And so you're doing so poignantly and so beautifully and intellectually well. And I love how you are just really taking the time to really shape it for men.
Yes, sir.
To have this level of understanding and this level of awareness and this level of consciousness.
Yes, sir.
Because it requires a state of consciousness.
Yes, sir.
To not just understand that you have feelings and you're able to feel, but even just a consciousness that when you're in a space that you cannot express that and you're not able to share what you feel.
That's a prison.
It's a prison, man.
It's a personal prison when I don't have language for what I feel. I'm trapped in my feelings. And then I got the nerve to hold my tears back. So now I'm my worst enemy because I won't let me cry. What do you do when it's you that won't let you be you? What do you do when you won't let you cry? There's nobody else stopping you but you. And fellas, we got to do better, right? We have to do better. We have to learn how to get this stuff out because you're killing yourself trying to be Superman and you forgot he was also Clark Kent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also Clark Kent. You got to take the cape off, King.
Yeah. As I say, that cake is choking the life out of you.
Kills you. Yep.
It's choking the life out of you, man.
Yep.
Man, this is so good, man. I'm just sitting here just processing.
What kind of watch is that, real quick? I know,
man,
but that's like that, Jay.
Man, this is a good brother of mine gave this to me about 12 years ago.
I like it.
Yeah, thank you, man. About 12 years ago.
Look like it'll fit me too.
Yeah, it'll fit you, brother.
maybe I
Keep
bless.
saying what you were about to say.
Yeah, maybe I bless you.
I'm not sure. Bless you.
You know, man. I'm really soaking this in, man, because and you and I, as we spoken, man, I desire a partner,
Yes, sir.
but I don't want to be a therapist.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be a father. I just want to be me.
Yes, sir.
And I'm being transparent now. The last relationship I had, that was one of the things that I said. I just want to be, man. I don't want to be Dr. J. I just want to be.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, listen, I said, I want to paint this picture for you. And I want to give you some context. And as we would say in therapy, I want to contextualize this in a way so you have a understanding of what it is that I'm feeling. I said, do you know what it's like to go out here and fix the lives of men while I come back and I have no clue on how to unravel the life that I'm in? I told her, I said, I have stood on stage and I've watched men's lives be transformed instantly.
You see it. I
I see it. And I come home, man, and I can't check out because I gotta check in.
Yes, sir. Oh, JB.
And coming home, I shouldn't have to check in coming home. And she says, what do you?
Do you know Adam took a nap and woke up to a wife? The only context he had for her was rest. Yeah. All he knew was rest when he saw her. That's why you're still single. You're not trying to work. You want to rest. God put Adam to sleep and woke him up to a wife. So when I come home, you should remind me of rest, not work.
Hey,
That's why you're still single, okay?
yeah.
Because you work hard enough out there. I don't want to come home to work either. Does that mean that we won't have work to do? Of course. But I don't want you to be my work. I want us to be our work.
And bro, and that's what I love about you, because you create space, man, for me to even go, because I'm not a person, I don't talk about relationships and I don't talk about different things openly, but you have a certain way, and it's kind of like what I do in therapy, but you have a way of creating the space to allow the dialogue to take place. And that's what I feel, man. And I say to myself, man, I'm supportive. I cannot wait for the day to sit in the audience and to watch my wife do her thing.
I'm sure you can.
I'm a teammate.
I'm sure.
I'm a teammate. So it's not like, I never forget telling a woman, she's like, do you feel like you? I said, no. I said, I grew up coaching and training my sisters. I was like, go listen to my sisters. They'll tell you, like, our brother was out. So a woman succeeding or excelling, like with my team, like, I'm gonna order food. I'm gonna carry bags. I'm gonna serve. Because to truly understand who you are as a man, you understand what Christ was. He came to serve, not to be served. So with that, I have an understanding that I can lower myself. Doesn't mean I'm minimizing myself. I'm lowering myself to serve you in whatever capacity. But what happened is, in the midst of trying to serve, I'm dying on the inside.
Jay, I need you to understand, just as your brother, you are too much for most women. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And I feel like that, Dave.
It's a lot, Jay. It's too much, because I have my own career. I'm living in purpose. I'm not out here slutting around. I'm a good-looking guy. I'm focused, and I'm not just giving anybody a chance. And I serve greatly. That's overwhelming. That's too much for some women, because they're so used to having to carry something. A woman that doesn't have to carry you will almost find you toxic. There's something wrong with you. if I ain't got to carry you? Because I'm so used to carrying things. What do you do when healing feels like toxicity and toxicity feels like healing? You got more work to do. And that's why you're single, sir. Again, it's because, Jay, you're not one that needs to be carried. You are the carrier. And we're dealing with a generation of women who are unfamiliar with Christ-like love. They like Judas love. They like to be kissed and betrayed. That makes them comfortable. And you come like Christ, where I'll let you kill me so that you could be better for you.
I'm ripping up these cars, man, because this bro.
That's what we're dealing with today, bro. That's why I'll never leave my wife. Never. We will die together. Because I don't need to look for anybody that woman understands. She gets it. And she has raised me. My wife and I met when we were 18, got married at 28. She raised me. I'm not going nowhere.
Man. How long y'all been married, David?
We've been married 22 years. Yeah, been married 22. Again, we met at 18, freshman in college. We got married when we were 28. We have 2 kids. So she raised all 3 of us. My wife raised me, bro.
And when you say raise you, because somebody will hear that and like, I ain't trying to raise no man, this and that. What you provide a little context to help the people.
Yeah, well, if you're over 40, you're not raising anybody, right? You're helping. We met when we were kids. So she taught me how to be a man. I came from a single parent home. She had a father. So she said, no, that's not what men do. This is what men do. Nope, don't do that. Do this. And so she raised me. Right.
And at that time, how did you receive that? What was there resistance, or was there some level of where your ego was bruised? What was that?
Ego, man, because I had because I didn't have a father, I had compiled all the fathers I wanted to be into one man. And that was not logical. So I was James Evans and I was Cliff Huxtable. Right? I was all of them. And she helped me find me. Not James, not Cliff, but Dave. And so that was a process. And she's still teaching. I still learn from her every single day.
Man, we could, CJ, my producer, man, he and I talk often as we're on this road, podcasts and different things like that. And we have a lot of similarities, both play sports. And, we're I think CJ probably, and I know that I have a prophetic gift, and CJ, I would say that he's a seer, but we have these unique qualities about us, and we often talk about, right, the complexities of trying to not just meet, but just even find someone who has capacity.
Yes, sir.
Because I think the biggest challenge is that I have to say this to a lot of my colleagues that are therapists and that are like looking for these type of men. I always ask them, do you have capacity? I said, rather than asking, and I tell, if I'm in church, I say, stop asking God for the blessing and begin to ask him for the capacity to hold the blessing. Because you're asking for something and you have not built the container to hold the contents in that you're asking for. So you're like, God, fill my cup, but you don't have the capacity in your cup. And sometimes that challenge, man, is just kind of like, it's frustrating because, man, especially now, I turned 43 last month, and my mom is like, yo, King, she used to call me King. She called me good doctor now. She said, good doctor, how you feel? You about ready to? I said, Mama, I believe a part of me has always been ready.
Yes, sir.
I said, I'm not running from love. I'm not running from a relationship. I'm not running from a quote unquote good woman. But Mama, to your point, I got to go home if I see that this individual don't have the capacity to hold all that I am.
Yes, sir.
Because what I've seen myself do, David, is for the sake of going back to the Christ-like, I'll let you kill me. Matter of fact, I'll look at you while you killing me and have a smile on my face.
Yes, sir.
Because if killing me will give you the confidence to stand up in whatever you have, I'll be okay with that. But I had to say to myself, Jay, stop falling on the sword.
Yes, sir.
Because the right woman does not want you to fall on the sword. Matter of fact, she's going to help you pick it up and for you to keep fighting.
That's right.
And that was a
Don't want to
revelation.
know, if she's broken, she will always leak love, which means she won't ever be able to house you. When I marry couples, I say to have and to hold. There are a lot of people that can have you, Jay, but they can't hold you, right? Because they're broken, they will always leak love. And so you will always be pouring in and they will always be dripping out because they're not ready for you. And again, I say it again, Jay, you're a lot, bro. And not a lot in a bad way, just, bro, you're a lot. And most women don't have the capacity for you. And they won't. And you can't fabricate it. Can I just minister to my brother real quick?
Yeah.
Better alone than poorly accompanied, right? It's better to be alone than poorly accompanied. And I think what you're experiencing, I've been, Jay, we talk and I'm like, Jay, I got somebody I want you to meet. Nah, okay, I'm not ready. That's because you, right? And you know that I'm tired of people dripping love because they can't house me.
And you just really summed up what I've been experiencing for the past 2-3 years, just dripping.
Dripping, bro.
Just dripping.
Dripping. You pouring in and they just can't hold it. They can't house it. And it's unfortunate. The problem is they can hold the average man's love, but you're not average. And most of the men who are watching you are not average. So you will always deal with some woman who's going to drip love because she's...
And I keep trying to be average.
You're never going to be average. That's never going to work.
And
if you get with an average, if you act average, Jay, I will... Listen, you bigger than me, bro. If I ever see you acting average and with an average woman, I'm coming. I'm coming, Jay. That's not you. That's not you. I know it is you, though, but we're not going to go there right now. My God. All right. Little bit. God. My God. I know it is you, King. But we gonna act right. Don't think I don't know. Oh, I know.
man, bro, there's so many emotions happening, man, right now, man. I want to cry. I want to laugh. I want to take a moment to pause because, if I'm honest, man, I shrinked a lot, man.
Me too.
I shrink a lot, man, knowing that I got this great mission,
Yep.
this great mandate, and this mantle, and I won't take up space because it's like, man, I'm trying to make sure that they can sit in the space with me so they don't feel, you know what I'm saying, like, left out. And
You become a murderer when you do that. And the reason why is because if you're so big, you suffocate the people that aren't big enough to love you. You're too big. And it's your heart sitting on them will kill them. Whew. I want you to hear that. You're too big for little. And when I'm talking about big like famous, I'm talking about big in the body, big in the kingdom, big in Christ. And so you can't be with the little woman. You will suffocate her. You will kill her. And it won't be anything you're doing, Jay. The problem is that she will try to keep up with your bigness and she will die. So you have outgrown anything mediocre, King.
yeah,
You've outgrown it.
and I think, man, the hardest part, man, on this journey, man, is outgrowing everything around you and nothing looks familiar.
Yes, sir. I'm right there in my life. I'm so alone. Bro. So alone. In a room full of people by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to learn to live with that. That's never going to change. It's never going to change. You're never going to be God won't let you be familiar with people. because your anointing is so important. It's got to be guarded. And so God will isolate you so that people don't kill you. So Jay, you got to get used to that, King. Yeah, get used to it. Get used to walking alone. Get used to, even man, when you get married at some point, because of who you are, and this is not to curse you, you will feel alone. The word alone is comprised of two words. It's all one. So if I'm alone, God says it's not good for man to be all one. And so I think we forget at times that my aloneness doesn't mean that I'm defective. It means that I am being perfected by Christ and I'm all one. He said, my grace is sufficient for you. That word sufficient really just means to me that, man, my grace, what you are looking for and about to break your back to get, God says, my grace is that. So if you could focus on the grace and the sufficiency, that thing won't bother you so much when you don't get it. So man, we gotta rock this alone piece and really become, I talk to myself so much, brother. I love me some me because I can't find nobody else to talk to. They don't get it. They don't get it, bro. So, and I think, and I'll land here, I think the last thing I really want my brother to do is people think because Jay is attractive and well known that he could have any woman he wants. And the truth is he could, but the problem is I've done too much work to have any woman I want. Right? I've done too much work to have any woman I want.
Yeah.
And now at this point, I need the woman that's for me and I can't really find her. What do you do? Right? So you got to love you even more.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna ask you the question I ask everybody else. Cause it is this I needed this episode for me.
Me too.
And brother, it's always great to see you, man. And it's great to sit with you and to sit with wise men as yourself.
Yes, sir.
And to sit with great counsel. I ask this question, man, to every guest, man. And I know you have something profound. And I'll say this to those that are watching. Profound doesn't mean things are wordy, right, tweetable, man. Yeah. Sometimes it's the simplest things are profound. What does healing mean to you, David?
Healing means the ability to say I'm weak and be okay with it. That's what it is for me. It's the ability to say I ain't got it. I'm tired. I'm weary. I knew I was healed when I could say I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. Being able to say I'm not okay.
Yeah. Oh man. We will just sit in this moment. Because as you talking to me, we're talking to CJ. Because, CJ has become like a brother. And when I see good men, for those you don't know, CJ is my producer, Q and Coda Film. What you guys see with Just Here, bro, it's because of him and Q and Coda. And as you were just talking, I just thought about him and I just thought about the other men in my life, man, that really desire real partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Men that will give anything, that will sacrifice, that will go without so others can have. And even the emotion that I'm feeling about what you shared, I feel it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you shared today was not only, this wasn't just helpful, this was life-changing.
Amen.
This moment was life-altering.
Amen.
And this was divinely, and CJ, no, man, we have a very unique way we even select people, man. It's all God. Like God had dropped in my spirit. You literally, a friend of mine had sent me your Facebook post, and she was like, Jay, what do you think about it? I was like, that nigga David don't miss.
Yeah.
She's like, you know him? I said, yeah. And then you DM me, and then I was like, yo, let's tap in, and here we are. So this entire process, because every conversation is cathartic even for myself.
Yes, sir.
But this one today, man, was everything, because, man, I be in my head so much, man.
Yes, sir.
And trying to downplay this anointing, because again, here's what people don't realize: I ain't asked for it. I ain't asked to heal men. I ain't asked to be, man. If it was left up to me, I just wanted to be effective.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be no influencer. I don't care about, like, man, if I had, and everybody know, I love Portugal. If I can live in Portugal or Cape Town somewhere, man, I'm like, if I can go to Europe, like that's, but I know I can't, because
Yes,
the calling is too great.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want to be a Jonah. So,
Yes, sir.
so I'd rather obey even in what I feel sometimes this war, this thorn in my side, because when I don't want to pour into another man, God has sent another man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, so, man, brother, I cannot thank you enough for your deposit.
Thank you for having me.
You know what I mean, man? I speak blessings over your work, over your ministry, over your life, your family, your kids, that God continues to breathe. Because I believe when God breathes on us, it gives us more life.
Yes, sir.
And it gives us more life to the things that he's called us to do. And if we have more life with the things that we call us to do, we now have the stamina to keep going the distance, man.
Yes, sir.
And you giving me some things to think about,
I'm not.
that I can take with me today, because that you know, that mediocre, because, man, like, I'm not a person that, I'm not into, you know, as the kids say, pop your ish. That ain't me, you know. And you're telling me something Bishop Jakes told me. Bishop Jake, we was sitting down talking, and just like we were sitting down, he looked at me, he said, stop downplaying yourself. Too big. And I'm like, okay, Bishop, yeah.
It's a
You
fact, though.
And for you to come, because even to look away, I still see where God is taking me. And he's often trying to tell me, like, no, lean into it. Because I'm like, nah, I don't want it.
Are you, I know we ended, are you afraid of it? Like, what is the hesitation?
Sometimes, man.
What are you afraid of?
I think sometimes, man, I'm just afraid of the distance that it creates sometimes. You know what I mean? And I love my people, like I love, but Bishop said something, he's like, you have to get okay with the distance. Have to. Because to stay close, and the same thing that they love you for is this familiar, and this whole, you know, we still locked in. He said it'd be the same thing that used to kill you.
The proximity. Yeah. I pray you get over that, bro.
Yeah.
You're the distance is, you're creating the distance anyway. Your life is creating distance. So you might as well go with it.
That's it, bro. Yeah. Man, listen, shit. Y'all saw some of everything today in this episode, man, with my brother David Burrus. Go follow him on all of his platforms. I mean, this brother is wisdom walking, wisdom talking, wisdom living in real time. And I hope that this experience that you guys have had the opportunity of us just sharing unapologetically, honestly, sharing raw emotions. And again, I don't mind putting myself on this couch and allowing a guest to turn the mirror to me. And brother, I thank you for being that, man. This brother is a beacon of light to myself and to so many men, you know, even men, he doesn't know it, but the men that he's touched that he's never met. And I encourage you to continue your journey wherever you are. And from one person who is working through the process of not shrinking, I'm challenging you to not shrink either.
Yes, sir.
Because when the light is on you, there's nothing that can stop it from shining. So remember, you can listen to Just Heal with Dr. J audibly on the Black Effect podcast and iHeartRadio podcast, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And again, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, remember, healing is a journey and wholeness is the destination.